Eugene tries to pull out the sacred sword, but ultimately he is unable to. Even if he were to succeed, he wouldn't be able to keep it as it is a symbol of the LionHeart family. Instead, he looks for other weapons and finds the sword of gluttony, Aspel. However, he decides against it as it would be too powerful for his current abilities. He finds several other weapons that he is familiar with, such as the draconian Kerbos spear, the Winneth storm sword, the bow of unbridled thunder, Pernoir, the flying Ayusari sword, Jabal, and Geddon's shield. Eugene comments on how all of these weapons are impressive and he wouldn't mind taking some of them. However, he doesn't see the Moonlight sword or the demon spear and decides to keep looking. He also finds various gems and accessories, including a necklace that was with him in his past life as Hamel. He remembers his parents who were eaten by monsters and wonders why the necklace is there, speculating that Vermouth may have brought his body to the house. He wonders why the Demon King of Slaughter and 2 other Demon Kings still exist, and what promise was made to preserve his memories. In the end, he decides to take the necklace as he doesn't want Hamel's memory to remain in the vault. Gallade is surprised by Eugene's choice, as the crystal is not registered in the vault and has no apparent potential. He asks Loberian to analyze it to see if it has any magical properties. As the necklace is not a LionHeart treasure, Gallade allows Eugene to choose something else, and he quickly grabs the Winneth sword. Eugene, Gargis, and Desera are outside talking. Desera is very interested in the spears that were in the vault and doesn't understand why Eugene chose a sword. Eugene tells her about the 5 demon kings that ruled Helmuth's domain 300 years ago. The Desera and Gargis debate which demon king is the strongest. Eugene begins practicing with the sword while the other 2 watch. Meanwhile, Gallade and Loberian are examining a necklace that was found in the vault. Loberian determines that it has no magic. It seems that the other objects in the vault damaged the mana of the necklace. In the end, Gallade decides to give the necklace to Eugene and offers to adopt him as his son. Gion LionHeart approaches Eugene and is happy to finally meet him in person. Gion leads Eugene to the main room where Gallade is waiting. Gallade tells Eugene that he used magic to read the memory of the object, but all they saw was the market where it was sold. Eugene is confused because it's not possible for his necklace to be in a place like that. Gallade begins to tell Eugene about his intention to adopt him, but Eugene assumes that Gallade wants to arrange a marriage with CL. Gallade realizes that Eugene has misunderstood and explains that the adoption would also include Eugene's father becoming a part of the main family. His intention is not to take Eugene away as his son. Eugene prefers to have his father make the decision about the adoption. Gallade agrees to bring him in to discuss it. As he leaves, he notices a strong perfume smell and realizes that someone is hiding in the corner. It turns out to be Anicilia. She asks Eugene what he and Gallade were talking about, but he says it's private. Anicilia pretends not to know and Eugene decides to leave. As he walks away, Anicilia shows her true feelings. 2 days later, Eugene's father Jihad arrives and the 2 embrace. Jihad and Gallade go inside to talk about the adoption, but Jihad is hesitant because he thinks the other immediate family members will react negatively. Gallade tries to convince him that adopting Eugene could increase his potential and be the best thing for his future. Eugene tells his father not to worry and that he will always be his real father. Eugene returns to training and has no intention of becoming the head of the family. Cayenne's mother tells him to get ready for a ceremony where all the families will meet and share. Kyle is bothering Eugene, wanting him to call her Nuna. Eode LionHeart decides to go with Loberian to practice magic, but for now, he will not be Loberian's apprentice. Onis thinks Anicilia is probably happy about this, as Eode was not born with the talent befitting his lineage and is naive and weak-willed. Today, Eugene will learn about mana for the first time. Mana development is categorized into 2 categories, breathing and body training. In the past, Hamel used body training, but then switched to breathing on the recommendation of Sienna and Vermouth. Eugene and Gion meet and head to a forest where the mana is concentrated. This forest was created by Vermouth 300 years ago. Gion gives Eugene 10 days to feel the mana, which Eugene thinks will not even take 10 minutes. They enter a hut with a staircase that leads to a ritual circle. Eugene does not know much, but he has seen the high-density layer of mana that surrounded Vermouth's body, which materialized into white flames that look like a lion's mane. Eugene concentrates and begins to feel the mana, but Gion does not believe him and says it's just his imagination. The two meditate to transport the mana throughout the body, and Eugene does it with ease, surpassing Gion's expectations. Eugene is excited to be reincarnated in a body that is much better than his old one, and is also learning the Vermouth technique. They return to the castle and Gion tells his brother about what happened. Eugene takes out the mana and infuses it into his sword, creating a powerful tornado. A voice is heard inside the tornado, saying, "It's you, Hamel. I remember you." Tempest reveals to Eugene that he believes he is reincarnated because the soul does not change, even after many years have passed. Vermouth chose not to attack the Demon King of the Apocalypse and apparently made a deal with him. Eugene is curious about the nature of this deal, but Tempest does not know. Eugene collapses to the ground due to the strain of using his sword and begins to doubt that he is truly the reincarnation of Hamel. Outside, Cayenne and Ciel are training to keep up with Eugene. Eugene tells Sylph, a low-rank elemental, that if his king lied, he will kill him. 4 years have passed and Eugene LionHeart is now 17 years old. In order to continue improving, he wants to go to Arath to learn magic. He meets Cayenne outside after practicing and Cayenne tells him about Iodi's failed attempt to become a disciple of Loberian. Eugene turns to Gilade and discusses his desire to go to Arath, but Gilade is hesitant to agree. However, he ultimately agrees on the condition that Eugene promises not to practice black magic. Eugene assures Gilade that he understands the family's history and will not engage in dark magic. Eugene says goodbye to everyone and enters a portal that takes him to Arath. Eugene wants to visit Sienna's mansion, which has been abandoned for 200 years since Sienna left a letter saying she was retiring and disappeared on her birthday. Eugene enters the mansion and begins to investigate how Sienna lived. In the past, Sienna had asked Hamel about his future plans, to which he replied that he had nothing in mind. Eugene wanted to go to the library in the basement to see if there were any clues about his necklace, but he couldn't access the books because there was a guard watching him. It was rumoured that Iodi visited this place regularly, and there were even some stores with succubus waitresses. Eugene was determined to get evidence and wait for the next full moon to visit the alley and confront Iodi. Eugene arrives at the Red Tower and meets a girl named Hera outside. Eugene is amazed by Loberian's incredible power. Eugene doesn't want to learn magic directly from him. Eugene explains that he doesn't want to cause problems and that people would take it badly if the LionHeart family was involved. It has been a month since Eugene arrived at the tower, and he's been going to the library every day to read magical texts. He trains his mana in the morning and his body at night. Eugene arrives at the practice room where Hera is. Hera suggests starting with the magic circle, but Eugene wants to put his own spin on it and use the LionHeart mana method. Hera is hesitant, as it is very difficult and can be dangerous if the mana spiral gets out of control, potentially leading to serious injury or death. However, Eugene is determined, and eventually Hera agrees to let him try. But she will intervene if she thinks he is getting too risky. Eugene begins by drawing out all of his mana. Eugene plans to replace the circle with his stars, which will allow him to increase his mana and control it depending on the situation. He manages to control his magic perfectly, impressing Hera, who can't believe that at only 17 years old he was able to do that. He asks her to summon a monster to test his power and easily defeats it with his magic. When Hera tells Loberian about what happened, he is shocked and says that Eugene is a talented monster. Loberian wonders if it would be unreasonable to write a letter of recommendation for Eugene to the Royal Librarian Acreon, a position only accessible to high-ranking mages, high aristocrats, and royalty. He ultimately decides to create the letter since Eugene has the necessary skills. In just 1 month, Eugene has accomplished all of this and learned all the magic books. Eugene expects that on the next full moon, Iodi will return to the alley. Eugene returns to the tower and goes directly to Loberian's room. Loberian shows Acreon the letter of recommendation and explains that the royal library, Acreon, is where the essence of magic in Aroth is recorded and has been famous for 300 years. Eugene is hesitant, but Loberian says it is the perfect opportunity for him to learn more about magic and increase his knowledge to a higher level by reading the ancient magic texts from the mythical era and the texts of the best philosopher of his time. Eugene is unsure how to respond, but he asks about his brother Iode and the situation he is in. Loberian knows about it and has tried to stop it but has been unable to. It is a full moon and Eugene, along with Gargis, are in the alley using magic to change their appearance so that no one will recognize them as important family members. They position themselves for when Iode appears. The auction has a rule that bids and buyers must be anonymous, with each person in a separate room except for their partner. The presenter explains how the auction works and announces that they are auctioning high-value items that come from Helmud. At one point, they show a box containing a piece of metal and Eugene quickly hits the button to buy it, realizing that it is a fragment of the lunar light sword. Eugene thinks that maybe when he died, Vermouth left and broke the sword in the same place. He is informed that Iode has arrived at the alley and goes to the place of the succubi. When he is eating, his brother Iode arrives looking drained. Eugene follows them and sees that they are heading to a hidden house. Suddenly, 3 men come out threatening him, but he easily defeats them without issue. Eugene takes out his sword and searches the rooms on the 1st and 2nd levels. When he goes to the room on the 3rd level, he realizes that they are going to attack him with dark magic. Quickly, he pulls out the fragment of the moonlight sword and absorbs the dark magic. The witch leaves the room, and Eugene realizes that Iode is linked to black magic. He gets very angry that his own father warned him not to get involved. This is where the video ends. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more recaps on all your favorite anime and shows. Thank you for watching.